So hello there, this is Andrew from the Shieldery, and today I want to show you how to build a bellow. Whilst doing so, I will explain a bit about the background and how stuff works. So let's start right away with the shape. Look at that beautiful pine wood board. As you can see, I already cut out a piece of paper in the size of the board, and because I want the bellow to be symmetrical, I folded it in the middle. And as you can see in the pictures, the bellows were quite round with a pointy tip. I already sketched the circle, and another interesting part is that the handle is directly cut out of the same board as the main body. Yeah, I like that. Let's copy it to the board. I don't like that one, so we'll move a bit further away. Just bring you in the picture. And when this is our bottom side, the top side has to be a bit shorter at the end. I don't measure that, I just estimate. We need some other parts too. For example, that part we cut out here we'll need twice. I'll put a thin piece of the board at the middle. Now let's just mark that. Looking at the historical evidence, there doesn't seem to be a strict rule whether the hole for the valve has to be at the top or at the bottom piece. So I'll drill it with a hole saw at the top part, and after that clean up the edges a bit. Unfortunately, the milling head became loose here, so back to the excenter sander to clean that mess up. Welcome back. I just let the glue dry for 2.5 hours. I hope it's good enough, although some parts seem wet. By the way, the glue, white PVA glue, which is waterproof, the waterproof version I used, isn't authentic, and I know that. As well as the leather that I will use and the metal pipe that we will cut now. So, nice that we've got that out of the way. Continue enjoying, I hope. It went off. I should have waited longer. Well, I'll glue it again and wait till tomorrow, and then we will continue. Fuck! Good morning. It is dried now, and I already roughened up the ending piece of the pipe so that the glue will definitely stick. But before we can attach the pipe, we'll have to even the front side out a bit because it's very uneven, and after the pipe is attached we won't be able to do that, at least not that easily. First, I used an electric planer for the front side and then an orbital sander for the side. Because it was curved, it's difficult to access. What's also very important is that the front side of the bellow is parallel to the top part. Otherwise, we'd get problem with the hinge later. The last part of the woodworking process is to drill the holes through which we can later put a leash, so we can place it beautiful in the campsite. Now comes the part you're probably most excited about, which is the hinge and the valve. For the hinge we will use a 4mm thick piece of leather. That's actually authentic leather now that I see it. And we will cut it to the shape of the tip here. After that's done, we place it on a sheet of quad paper, and while checking whether it's symmetrical, we cut our shape out of the quad paper. Now we turn it around, and as you can see, I already marked the middle line. Let's just transfer that and turn it around again. In order to prevent the leather hinge of becoming loose, we will have to place a lot of nails. And in order to make that beautiful and symmetrical and so on, we will use the quad paper. Now I want one nail approximately every centimeter. So let's see whether we are lucky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a bit too close for my taste. So let's say the last one is here, and then we need to take a bit less than 1 centimeter distance every time. Yeah. And so we can compensate that. Now we can control whether it looks symmetrical and good, and I'll bring you a bit closer. And it does. Now we'll need a second and maybe a third row. And now, just from looking at it, I think we've got luck with the 1 piece per centimeter exactly. At the front we have the problem that the wood grain goes in that direction. And if we place our nails too close to each other, it could splinter very easily. So we need a bigger distance of like 1.5 centimeters. Let's mark that. I don't think we need this 0.5 centimeter here, so we can cut it off. And if you want, you can keep that piece of quad paper for the next time you want to build this bellow. Now I want to make the edges more beautiful, so let's make that quickly. At the moment, the leather has the same resistance for bending at every point, and it's a bit too difficult to bend it in the middle, so we have to thin it up just a bit. Probably should wear gloves for that. So let's see whether that's deep enough. Maybe a bit more. I actually was afraid of building bellows a long time because I had no idea how to make the valve work. I think the valve of the bellows are so interesting because they mark a special point in history, because that was when the Iron Age began. Before that we had to open and close the bellows per hand. If you want, you can look up the Bronze Age bellows. We'll only need a 10 × 10 centimeter piece of leather that's just a bit larger, like 3 centimeters on each side, than the hole we drilled or sawn. Then we place it on the inside and drill it down on 3 of the 4 sides. And that's it. Magic. Now comes the part with the problem that took me the longest to solve, which is how to get the shape for the large leather piece that comes between the top and the bottom part of the bellow. First I thought I could measure it, but it's far more difficult. But I've got a solution. First we have to place the hinge, but only with like 4 nails, because we've got to get it loose again afterwards. Then I want a distance of like 25 or 30 centimeters when the bellow is fully opened. Because of that, I take a piece of wood with the measurements I prefer, something between 25 and 30 centimeters, and place it between the handles. Then we have to make sure that it stays in place. Again, we don't want that to be permanent, just a bit for that step. I very loosely screw it down through the holes we drilled before, very loosely. Then we take a large piece of paper again and place it between the 2 parts. Now we've got our shape and can transfer it to a piece of leather, but we want to flip the edge over, so we have to add like 2 centimeters on each side. By the way, while doing my research I discovered that there are 2 main options on how to place the leather. First, we could nail it down in the inside, or the second method, which we will do, at the rim. Dang, I nearly forgot to place the pipe. Let's do that quickly and add a bit of glue just to make sure that it stays in place. If you want to take a closer look at the pictures or you want more inspiration, I put the link to the bulletin board of Pinterest I created in the description. Before we continue, just a big thank you to my Patreon Warclad, and if you want to join him and want to support this channel, the link to my Patreon page is also in the description. After I nailed down like a larger piece, I use my thumb as a distance marker. So let's see that the height is similar. That's only from the pencil, by the way, no blood, don't worry. Then another thumb more. Now you can see here it's not the exact distance, so I take it in the middle. Now I think it would already work, but they are still a bit too far away from each other, I think. So I'll put a nail right between each of them. Here's another trick I discovered. I just beat them in till a point they stay on place. Then I take the next one and when more of them are in, I beat them in. I hope I don't hit my camera. Yes. Let's finish! Well, now we nailed the main part, but the wood chipped again here. I don't know how good you can see it, yes. As well as on the back side on a similar point. Till now I used sprout wood, and this is the first time I use pine wood for that. And now I'm afraid that it will splinter as well as here. And that's like the last part we have to do now. First we will remove that distance thing. Then we will loosen up those 4 nails and reattach the hinge above those pieces of leather. And I'm really afraid that it will chip here. Please, please don't. Okay, let's see. Two days have passed now. As you can see, my shirt has a different color, so it must be true. And the linseed oil varnish I applied at the end is dried now. I think it looks beautiful. Revealing shots incoming. One thing I changed is the big holes in the handle. That's because in some sauces this can be seen, and the use is that you can hook it up in the camp or on the wall or so on. Unfortunately, my professional air velocity measurement tool hasn't arrived yet, so we have to test the bellow in another way. I put these candles up here, and now I want to measure the distance from which I can blow one of them out. In order to have a comparison, I will also try to blow them out with my breath. unbelievable. That was a distance of 2 meters. I think that's quite strong because I was on my border in like 50 centimeters distance, and that means it's like more than 4 times stronger than breathing normally. Thank you for watching so long. I hope you enjoyed. If yes, please give a share, like, subscription or something in that direction. I hope to see you next time. Goodbye. Now I let the glue. Welcome back. Now I let the glue glide. Glue dry. I just let the glue dry. Welcome back. I just let the glue dry. Welcome back. Yeah, welcome back. I let the glue dry. Welcome back. I just let the glue dry.